Joining me now is Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario. Premier Ford, I appreciate your making time to speak to us. As you know, as well as anybody, the tensions at one point between Canada and the U.S. were extremely high. You even threatened to cut off power to the U.S. before both sides backed down. What is your current assessment of the U.S.-Canada relationship?
Well, right now, it was great to see Prime Minister Carney and President Trump sit down today, and I think that it's a new start, a new opportunity to rebuild the relationship, and it sounded like it went fairly well. And I hope it really does go well moving forward, because we need each other. We need to build that AMCAN fortress I've been talking about for a number of months now. So it's good to see that they're getting along. I'll tell you, he's getting along a lot better than our former prime minister.
Well,
that's for sure.
I was going to say that was particularly notable here. We know the way that Donald Trump spoke about the former prime minister, referring to him as a governor repeatedly here. So I want to get your take, because I know for the Canadian audience, this was must-see TV to see the way that Carney would conduct himself in front of President Trump. How would you assess how Prime Minister Carney handled this meeting with the president? Did he strike, in your eyes, the right balance between, I guess, flattery and defiance?
He did strike the right balance. Make no mistake about it. Prime Minister Carney is an extremely bright individual. He was the chair of Brookfield, a $1 trillion fund, one of the chairs in Bloomberg. He's an extremely bright individual, and he'll get along quite well with President Trump.
Who has more leverage in these trade talks right now, the United States or Canada?
Well, I don't look at it as leverage. I feel that we need each other. We're the U.S.'s largest customer. The U.S. is our largest customer. I spent 20 years of my life in Chicago, New Jersey. I love the Americans, and all Canadians love Americans. We just have to sit down. We're stronger together. I always say, united we stand, divided we fall. We aren't the problem. China's the problem, and we need to stand united. And when President Trump says he doesn't need Canada, I have to laugh every time he says it, because, you know, the farmers would be in big trouble in the U.S. if they didn't receive Saskatchewan's potash or the uranium or high-grade nickel or the $1.2 billion barrels of oil that we ship down there. And the list keeps going on and on and on. And if you take away the oil, by the way, the U.S. has a $50 billion surplus on trade. So if he doesn't want the oil, we'll make the pipelines. We'll ship them over to everywhere else in the world if he doesn't want the oil. And then he'll have a $50 billion surplus that he'll be proud of.
I want to ask you, if I can, obviously there was a back and forth today, as you heard, where Carney was clearly prepared on this issue of annexation. And I'm struck as I'm speaking to you right now, and we've spoken in the past, but not recently, that the signage behind you reads "Canada is not for sale." That's obviously the key headline that a lot of Canadians are going to see on their evening newscasts and when they wake up to the newspapers in the morning. Was that newly prepared, and were you surprised that President Trump appeared to sort of back away a bit from his efforts or his claims to Canada as a possible 51st state?
Well, I'm not surprised anything the president says any longer. I just know that Canada is not for sale. Will never be the 51st state. We love our American neighbors. We can work collaboratively together against our foes, be it China or other countries around the world that don't share our values. We share the same values, Canada and U.S., unlike any other two countries in the world. We have the longest unprotected border in the entire world. We're so much stronger together. We have more critical minerals in Ontario than anywhere in the world. And I want to ship them down.
I just want to follow up really. I just want to ask you very quickly, as you've been engaged in this for so long, the USMCA was set up by former President Trump to get rid of NAFTA. Now the president effectively wants to get rid of USMCA. What does that say to you?
Well, I was part of the last deal, and I remember the president saying, "This is the greatest deal ever." Well, I guess it's not the greatest deal any longer, but that's fine. If he wants to relook at it and renegotiate it, that's fine. We're up for that, because again, I just think we can do so much more together. We need each other, and we're going to be really working with the U.S. administration to make this happen.
Premier Doug Ford of Ontario, we very much appreciate you making time to speak to us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.